This is Security Watch Africa, only on this channel, the Africa Independent Television, a program that brings you security and safety information. Welcome to the program today. My name still remains Patrick Abambo. On this program today, we'll be looking at a very interesting topic, responsible journalism as a tool to national security, peace, and unity. And we have our guest who will be speaking to us via Zoom, who is also a practicing journalist, an editor extraordinaire, and a publisher. He will be speaking with us on what responsible journalism is all about. But before that, let's take this message from the Chief of Army Staff. We know that beginning from July 1st to 6th, the Nigerian Army will specifically be commemorating the 162nd anniversary of the Nigerian Army, and the Chief of Army Staff has just given a message to his officers, to his troops, and to all those all Nigerians. And in that message, he said, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to officers, soldiers, and our dear families on the occasion of the Nigerian Army Day celebration, NASER 2025. It is truly remarkable that the Nigerian Army is commemorating 162 years of dedicated service to our beloved fatherland. This past year has been a challenging one for the Nigerian Army. Notably, on Tuesday, 5th November 2024, we suffered a great loss with the passing of our leader, the former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T.A. Lagbaja, who answered the call to eternal glory. While we grieve, we take solace in the truth that God knows what is best for us all. I urge us to be comforted with the knowledge that he now rests peacefully in the bosom of his Creator. As we celebrate the Nigerian Army at 162, let us be mindful that Nigerians look up to us to play a vital role in overcoming the current security challenges being experienced across the country. We must therefore renew commitment to safeguarding Nigeria's sovereignty, protecting its territorial integrity, and upholding the rights of all citizens. Let us also continue to work together, united in our quest for peace, stability, and lasting prosperity for our dear country, Nigeria. The Nigerian Army is the backbone of our national defense, working tirelessly to protect our citizens, defending our territorial integrity, and supporting the civil authority to maintain law and order. From counterinsurgency efforts to peacekeeping missions, our soldiers have consistently exemplified professionalism, discipline, and commitment as a formidable force. Today, we stand as a force focused on victory and fully aware of the spiritual dimension of our fighting power. The NASER services also serve as a memento to honor our fallen heroes, celebrate those still in active service, and pray for a brighter, stronger future for the Nigerian Army. I charge you to do your best to make NASER 2025 a worldwide celebration. I also assure you that the Nigerian Army will continue to put the welfare of its personnel and their families first. We must also remember to continue to pray for the repose of the souls of our beloved colleagues who have paid the supreme sacrifice in the line of duty, and for the recovery of our wounded in action warriors. To these souls and their families they left behind, we owe a debt of gratitude. Nigeria and the Nigerian Army salute and celebrate their courage, gallantry, and sacrifice. This is from the Chief of Army Staff, Nigerian Army, Lieutenant General Olufemi Olatubosu Oloyede. Really, I must say this is a way to acknowledge the situation, and this actually depicts what the Nigerian Army has been going through in the last 162 years. Congratulations to the Nigerian Army, and we must say that Nigerians need to continue to support them. Nigerians of all strata should support the Nigerian army to help defend the country. Yes, let's go straight to our topic for the day. We have already waiting to contribute to the discussion, to the topic, which I say responsible journalism as a tool to national security, peace, and unity. We have with us Chidi Omeje, who is a publisher, editor-in-chief, Security Digest. Hello? Hello? Yeah, hello? Hello, are you hearing me? Yes, I can hear you. Okay, yes, yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on the program today.
Right.
Okay, maybe I don't know if you follow the message from the Chief of Army Staff. What would you say to that message?
To be honest, I didn't quite see the message.
All right. Okay, I think we're having a bit of a challenge with the audio, but okay. But are you hearing me now? Hello?
I'm hearing you quite well, yeah.
Okay, all right. So let's go to, since you didn't hear what went on, but let's go to the topic. Can you tell us what can be described as responsible journalism?
Responsible journalism is the type that promotes peace, type that supports national security, type that engenders stability in the polity. Because journalism is all about journalists as stakeholders in nation building. Journalists are supposed to actually be in the forefront of building the society. So responsible journalism is such practice that make sure that society is well informed, and it goes beyond even informing people. It helps to promote peace. You have to shape narratives in a way that society is at peace. At a time when a society or a nation is going through insecurity like we have in this country, it behoves on journalists or journalism, for instance, as a practice, to be at the vanguard, to make sure that everybody is galvanized in a way that ensures that such instability or such insecurity are brought to are normalized or stopped. Because if you don't,
we seem to be experiencing some network glitch over there. I don't know if the network is still bad. But are you hearing us now?
I'm hearing you. Are you not hearing me?
Okay, yes, okay. We lost your audio before. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, well, I don't know at what point you stopped hearing me, but I was just trying
continue where you are.
Fine. I was just going to say that responsible journalism, is actually a crucial instrument, in the society to ensure that you have a stabilized society, to ensure that everybody is at one page in the whole quest for national stability. Because I mean, the journalism goes beyond just reporting. It has to influence the sentiment. It has to shape the narratives in a way that brings peace, in a way that supports the efforts of government to ensure that there's stability in the polity. I don't know if you're hearing me.
Yes, I'm hearing you. We are hearing you quite well.
Very well. So, most people who have come up with different approaches to dealing with insecurity have pointed at what they call all of society approach. And then when you say all of society approach, then you see where the journalism sits at the forefront, because journalism is at the heart of information sharing. And of course, you know that most crises actually have its roots in the way it is communicated, in the way communication is the heart of what is it. And of course, journalism, is just the essential tool for communication. So journalism is an integral part of the whole gamut of finding peace and stability and security in the country. So that is why it is essential that those who practice that journalism must be very careful in the way that their efforts to not bring more, do not support crisis, rather help to resolve crisis. Because the society ought to be stabilized. If the society is not stabilized and not secured, nobody can operate. So journalism must be part of this effort to stabilize society by making sure that they do not aggravate the situation. That's what we call conflict-sensitive journalism, and it's all about making sure that at a time when you have crisis in polity, the way you communicate the crisis, the way you shape the narrative, the way you go about the whole effort will be supportive of the whole enterprise of trying to solve a problem, not to aggravate the problem.
Okay. Now, in the fight for close to 15 years now, Nigeria specifically have been facing insurgency, terrorism, and banditry and kidnapping. And it seems that some sector of the Nigerian media, both social media and conventional media, seems not to be in tandem or in collaboration with the fight against these enemies of the society. Why do you think it's so? Why are they not flowing or working together to ensure that we totally defeat these enemies?
First of all, such segments of journalists or journalism you talked about are those who have not been able to understand exactly the true meaning of their enterprise. If you understand what it takes to be a professional journalist, you understand that you have a role to play to make sure that society is stable, except you are an adversary, except you have an ulterior motive, except you are driven by some, some primordial or whatever motive that is disruptive, not constructive. But if you really are supportive of a conducive environment where everybody can live and work and be whatever they want to be, then of course you know that the way you practice your journalism has a serious role in the sustenance of this security, the country. So I agree with you that the information liberalization we have through social media has made it possible for because there is a concept of citizen journalism, which to me is actually is a misnomer, because journalism is a profession, and what makes it a profession is that it has a methodology. Yeah. It has way it is done.
Ethics, yes.
If you are, you have ethics, you have processes, and of course, that's what we call even gatekeeping. That's why you have editors. So that you should be able to, stonewall what is not important in the information. Because if you allow everything to go just the way you see it in social media, it means that there's nothing professional again there. So citizen journalism to me is just an acronym to describe the chaotic nature of information management, information sharing in today's world. But the actual professional journalism has an inbuilt process and mechanism to ensure that certain information are not let out unrefined. Unrefined means there are things that you don't have to say. For instance, let me give you a practical example. Just a few days ago, one of the social media networks, popular in this country, shared the picture, the photograph, the actual faces of soldiers that were killed by bandits. Now, imagine if the parents, or rather the family members of these soldiers, are not aware that something like that happened, only for them to see it splashed on social media like that. So there's no professionalism there. But if it were a mainstream, if it were an actual, professional media house,
yeah,
what they would do, they will make sure that such sensitive parts of the information will be screened out, so that you will not aggravate the situation, so that you will not cause another, you will not, put the families of those people in such a terrible situation, and then of course discourage even the troops who are there in the harm's way. So there are things that journalists should be very mindful of if actually they are interested in making sure that we have a secure society. It's not just about the quest to break the news or to be popular about the fact that you're able to say all manner of things unrestrained. No, it's not important. What is important is how do your effort, how does it help the society to heal, to be secured, to prosper, to be stabilized. If your practice do not support all this effort, then it is adversary. It is not helpful. That's what I'm trying to understand. Because when we are in journalism school, we were taught that you have a serious role to play in shaping a society in a way that you as a person would want it to be. So we can't afford to be working at cross purposes and expect the society to work well. And tomorrow, at the same time, the person will now say, "Oh, things are not working." Meanwhile, you have not contributed in a way that will support that effort. That's
Okay.
what I'm trying to say.
All right. No, no, I quite understand. So, is it possible, again, maybe the political bias of whoever is reporting could influence what is put out there?
Absolutely, not just political bias. I mean, there are so many, fault lines that come in, so many sentiments that actually influence, the practice. Political bias, one. Some are even ethnic. Some are religious. Some are, some. There are so many primordial sentiments that people deploy in their practice of journalism, which is actually very, very terrible. Terrible because at the end of the day, you are not serving the society. You are not helping the society to heal, to unite, to grow, to progress. Rather, you are dividing, you are segmenting society, you are encouraging the adversary, you are emboldening them, you are demoralizing those ones, the ones that state have sent out there to be on the harm's way in order for us to be protected. So how is it now sensible that you are now working at cross purposes at this with this stuff? So if you embolden the adversary through the way you report, if you cause conflict, or if maybe promote division within and among the security architecture, if you do things that actually do not promote, the whole gamut of efforts, then you are not being, you are not supportive of the society. You are rather, destructive.
Yeah.
As a
Okay.
journalist, that's what I think.
Yeah, coming back to the citizen journalism, which seems to be the new in vogue now. Everybody carries the camera records and the record and upload. Someone once described, so which means we can even allow citizen engineering, citizen doctor, citizen this, because there's no restriction. And some people have talked about having some code of control even for social media. Some have said, no, that will be gagging the media. What do you think? Do you think that the Nigerian Press Council or the Nigerian government should do something to have some little bit of control in what goes out?
It will be pretty difficult to have any control. I think the control should come. It should be it should be more self censorship.
Self-imposed.
And
Yeah.
there's a way we can. Yeah, there's a way we can. There's a way the government, or rather society, can help in ensuring that people have that consciousness. I mean, there's a way. There are certain things you as the government will do. Then you sort of reassure the citizens. But let me tell you, at the heart of all this problem is bad governance. Bad governance that promotes, all these fault lines that divide us. Because most of the people who actually inhabit of, throwing information that are destructive are actually propelled by those primordial sentiments, the primordial fault lines. So they see it, they weaponize them, and then it becomes, for instance, you see some people will rather, so the segment of the media, you could see them actually supporting, in a way, probably surreptitiously, supporting, terrorist activities or banditry activities, just in a way to get at the government of the day. It happened in the past. It could be happening now. You could see some people, that will not actually give support. So for me, this idea of citizens journalism is a virus that we must find a way to deal with, because it is not journalism as journalism is supposed to be.
All right.
Journalism has methodologies, it has ethics, it has processes, it has stages. So, but this one is just a snap picture. You write all manner of story you want, the way you want to write it. You don't care. You just send it, and then people begin to share them, and then begin to have a life of its own. Meanwhile, it is outright lies. So, to me, it's self censorship. People need to see that these acts, these activities are not good, because we are not helping the society. If the society is bad, all of us will suffer it.
Okay.
If it's progressive, all of us will enjoy it.
All right. Recent as we end this session with you, because I know that you've been very busy. You recently just got back from the Northwest, where you went on the chase of the Lakarawa group. And as the Nigerian Army celebrate 162 years, What would you see? What did you see on the front line in terms of our soldiers? How did you see them?
Look, you see, for us who do this job, journalism, I was actually embedded with the troops. We went to where we call Ilela, in Sokoto State.
Lela Sokoto, yeah.
Then of course, Ilela local government, yeah, it's a border local government. Then of course we went to a particular town they call Sauna. Sauna, it has a thick forest around it, and this is where the Lakaroa people, because there's a contiguous, there's a border between Nigeria and Niger Republic, and that particular town, is a border community. So now it is that particular effort with the war gave me which even a clearer understanding of what our troops are going through. We are talking about our troops right inside the forest. They're just patrolling, just looking for. Look, they're offensive now, not defensive. They're out there looking, making sure that these guys do not seep into our community. But don't forget that we have so much, very long, very large
Borderline.
kilometers borderline between Nigeria and. So these guys our troops are always out there patrolling. And one thing I noticed also is that particular community called Sauna, it has a total absence of governance there. And these are the things, these are drivers of insecurity.
All right.
Look, the community, those people there, we saw the people in that Sauna, the troops are the only thing that they see as a sign of government.
Okay, so sorry to cut you there. I know that time there we're getting signal to leave. We're going to continue this because this is a full program. We're going to talk about the experience in the Northwest because it's very, very interesting. So maybe we can continue by next week if it's convenient for you. But thank you for joining us while we'll go for another segment of the program. It's been a pleasure, Mr. Chidi Omeje, publisher, editor-in-chief, Digest magazine, Security Digest. Thank you so much, sir.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. Next week, we'll try to do it next week.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Yes, during the week, there was a press briefing to announce the African Chief of Defense Summit that will be held in Nigeria. Sit back as Elizabeth Tanko brings us the report.
To foster stronger regional cooperation, enhance joint operational capabilities, and promote collective strategies in addressing contemporary security threats to peace and stability, the Defense Headquarters, under the leadership of General Christopher Gwabin Musa, is hosting the African Chiefs of Defense Staff Summit from August 25th to 27th in Abuja. Disclosing the theme of the summit, the Chairman Planning Committee of the summit, Air Vice Marshal Precious Amadi, also mentioned that about 53 chiefs of defense across Africa will be in attendance.
So Africa and across the spectrum of terrorism, armed conflicts, organized crimes, and arms trafficking. The transnational nature of these threats demand that nations collaborate to confront them. To this end, the African Chiefs of Defense Staff Summit, ACDSS for short, was conceptualized by the Chief of Defense Staff, General C.G. Musa OFR, as a premier platform for the Chief of Defense establishments across the continent to engage in dialogue on shared defense and security mechanisms to enhance defense capabilities amongst African nations. Truly, in the light of the current realities, it has become imperative to seek African solutions to African problems. In recognition of this, the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, has granted approval for the Defense Headquarters to host the maiden African Chief of Defense Staff Summit 2025. The theme for this inaugural summit is combating contemporary threats to regional peace and security in Africa, the role of strategic defense collaborations.
Air Vice Marshal Amadi gave updates on what to expect at the summit.
And this summit will cover 4 thematic areas, namely discussions on collective securities and strategy for African security issues, facilitating collaborative responses to peace and security issues within the African continent, developing mechanisms for integrating the private sector into African defense efforts, and lastly, establish a roundtable for the initiation of homegrown solutions to African defense problems and issues. The summit is scheduled to hold from 25th to 27th of August at the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center, Abuja, and the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, all in Abuja here. The event is also expected to showcase African defense capabilities through defense exhibition, which will concurrently hold with the summit at the venue for the event. The exhibition is particularly important as it has become imperative to adopt homegrown solutions and responses to emerging threats, especially through support to locally manufacturing companies for the African defense industry. Invited guests include over 53 chiefs of defense staffs from across African countries, resource persons from across the globe, some foreign partners, as well as senior retired and serving military officers. Other guests include heads of the African Union and ECOWAS commissions, state governors, honorable ministers, government offices, officials and offices, and heads of various security agencies, amongst others.
The chairman also clarified that the political relationship between members of the ECOWAS did not affect the cooperation between the countries' militaries.
We don't get involved in political issues as much as possible. I can tell you with all confidence that under the Multinational Joint Task Force, Niger Republic is still participating, even though we have a strained political relationship with them. So Mali, Niger Republic, Burkina Faso, we have no issues with them militarily because one threat to one is threat to all. So if you focus on the political issues, then you have this kind of discussion. But on the military side, we are working together. We had an ECOWAS Chief of Defense Staff's conference here, and most of them attended the ECOWAS conference. So we're not having any, but we're just writing to them, informing them. We're getting responses from most of the countries we've written to of their plan to participate and attend in person, not just sending a representative. So I think we have no issues with that. We are political. With military side, I keep on following the military side, even though we listen to our political leaders.
Elizabeth Thanko, reporting for Security Watch Africa, Abuja.
Thanks for staying tuned. Fortunately, we've come to the end of the program. Join us again next week when we'll bring you another exciting edition of the program. Until next week, I say bye for now and remain blessed.